You're on. All right, good afternoon, Mr. May. I'm Mr. Berlinsky. I'm the department head of ELA at Hollywood Academy of Arts and Science.
How you doing, Ms. Berlinsky? I'm the department head for Pembroke Pines Charter High School for mathematics.
Okay, so let's talk about data. So based on mathematics topic assessment reports, which concept or content should the department grade level teachers focus on?
Well, one thing that we should focus on, which we always focus on, is pretty much our algebra content. We're focusing more on STEM. So the reason why we're using STEM is it gears us more to the science, technology, engineering, mathematical concepts. So therefore, algebra is a strong foundation for it. So it allows us to prepare our students for that, for those topics and those courses.
Okay, sounds good. And what are the strengths and weaknesses that you see in mathematics at your school?
Well, at our school, as far as our end of course assessments, especially for the Algebra 1, we're at 85% proficiency, which means that 85% of our students actually pass in Algebra 1. Reason why that's a good thing is because if you have a strong foundation in Algebra 1, you can gear your kids towards the pre-cal calculus classes. One of the weaknesses that we have, though, I will say, is our geometry. At our geometry, we're at a 65% proficiency rate, which is not as strong as our algebra. That leads to a weakness in the courses like statistics, where students have to actually apply themselves. So those will be our algebra 1 will be our strength, and our weakness will be our geometry, which leads to weaknesses with the other courses.
Okay, that makes sense. And do you group the students for math, or what is the way you attack to try to improve, say, for example, geometry or statistics?
Well, what we do is we have our kids on the tracking system. It's not necessarily grouping. We have them on the tracking system. It lets us know where do they actually want to go as they're through their high school career. We'll start them with the geometry, and the more they get into the geometry, the more we gear them towards our statistics approach, where we're actually using skills and concepts that help them and prepare them for our statistics course as they go on through high school.
Okay, and do you use like a portfolio system to track, or?
No, we pretty much use basically their overall performance in the classroom. We look at their end of assessments throughout the year. You can say it's like a portfolio because we look at their achievements and their performance through all the other classes geared up before they take those advanced classes.
Does your school have something that you take like at the beginning, middle, end of the year to kind of see where the kids are at, see if they're improving?
No, that's pretty much based on the teacher. The teachers give mock exams and mid-year performance to see exactly how they're doing throughout the year. Some teachers even use their midterm to actually follow their kids.
Okay, I'm
For
sorry,
my
go ahead.
for my stats class, I actually use a college board assessment where I give them some assessments throughout the year, and let them see if they're ready to take the test. And it gives us analysis and letting us know exactly how they will perform, or give an inference on how they perform on the test.
Then do you see patterns and trends that go on in your school with the mathematics?
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can see that. As I said before, the kids who have a strong foundation in the algebra, they're more geared towards the calculus and pre-calculus route versus the kids who are not as strong in algebra. They're geared to go more towards the statistics course.
Okay, so that's kind of like it with ELA at my school. If the kids don't have a strong foundation with vocabulary and they can read the words, but they can't comprehend or understand, they don't do as well on our test, which we give at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and at the end of the year, we give an NWA test. And what that NWA test does is it tells where the kids are at, like at a baseline data, where they're at the beginning of the year, and then the middle of the year, winter, if those kids improved. And then at the end of the year, we want to see if we want them to see, we would like to see at least a year of growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And that's one of the ways we use as promotion. So if they don't do good on the state exam, if they make enough progress on NWA, then they can be promoted to the next grade level.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Based on your NWEA profile, what patterns and trends or weaknesses or strengths surprise you?
Um, well, as far as the comprehension, I would think would be a little bit better, but then again, looking at the root of the cause, if their vocabulary isn't good, and we do have quite a big Russian population and kids, we have about 11 different ethnicities, even though that's not like our main groups, we do have Russians, we have kids from Dominican Republic, we have kids from different places, and they come in, their first language is not English. So if they can't understand what they're reading, even if they just read the words, you can understand why they wouldn't do as well on the test. About 85% of our kids do pass the NWA by the end of the year, but initially maybe about 55 is at a proficient level, and in the middle of the year about 70. So overall, I think we're doing a good job, but it is a little surprising still that the comprehension isn't better because we are a high performing school. So we do have high expectations.
Okay. Same thing here as far as high expectation in our class, in our school, especially in the math department. We actually use our AP assessment scores to actually, see where our kids are actually performing. This year, we actually did better than what we thought, given the COVID, and we didn't think the kids would actually be as strong in courses as we thought they would be in. But 85, and before I actually tell you the percentage, our schools or our scores are basically on a 1 through 5 system. So if a kid gets a 1 or a 2, they don't pass the course. But if they have a 3, 4, and 5, they do pass that concept area test. For the math department this year, we have a 5%, 15% actually score a 5, 4, 20% scored a 4, 50% scored a 3, 12% score a 2, and 7% scored a 1. So that means about 19% of the students actually get passed this year, which is a much higher improvement before. Global average is a 48%. So our school passed that far, and just passed that by a um, large difference. So what about your scores?
Okay, so that sounds similar to like the FSA, which they're not going to use the FSA anymore. We're still working on how they're going to do the progress monitoring, but about 77 to 80% got 4s and 5s.
Okay, great.
The FSA, the 3s will be like 60 to 65%, and then 2s to 1s will be like 10 to 15%. And they would need at least a 2 if they're going to be promoted based on the FSA. And now, if they don't get at least a 2, again, they have the NWA as possible promotion criteria. Plus, we use portfolios, which the teacher keeps all the tests, and it's like almost like a running records of what the kids they're doing. And then we give that to our administrators at the end of the year, and they kind of have the final call. Now, can your kids pass mathematics or the next grade level via summer school? If
Yes, they can.
okay,
But they don't have an assessment that it would actually take. The assessment is basically geared on what they learned throughout the entire regular school year.
okay.
Um, as a department leader, is there something that you would take to your department to help improve your ELA scores? Something that you did throughout the year that you like, and something that you want to improve on?
Um, I would say maybe more grouping with like I already know the teachers do tier 1, 2, and 3 groups,
Mhm.
but maybe start that earlier in the year, and then kind of like they monitor the NWA progress, kind of monitor how effective those groups are, and to see if that's more effective overall, increasing the performance.
Okay.
How about yourself?
Well, what we're doing this year, what we did this year, all the advanced math teachers at our school, we actually worked on a certain type of question this year. We focused more on, I'll say, multiple choice.
Mhm.
So a lot of the instruction and the learning and practice was pretty much geared on the multiple choice questions. with our students as far as multiple choice. We can say that we had a 70% accuracy rate for multiple choice. Now, where our students had a downfall was on the short response questions, where they had to answer questions based on their concepts and their knowledge. They had to find out what skill or what method was actually appropriate to use. One thing that we're actually going to do this year, we're going to actually spend more time having students work on discovering the concept of finding the approach of attacking the problem on their own.
Okay. We use computer programs as far as like Reading Plus, and we kind of monitor, again, that has a baseline mid-year and end of the year to track progress. Plus there's another program that is more geared towards the FSA, although the FSA won't be around next year. And those kind of, it's called Admentum. And Admentum, the kids don't necessarily love it. However, when you tell the children that they're going to see the same type of questions on state exams and for NWA, they take it more seriously. So those kind of help our kids make progress throughout the year.
I'm familiar with Admentum. I actually was the leader of the Admentum department at my school. So I'm familiar with that. It's a very good program.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not quite as engaging and exciting.
You're right about that, yes.
But when the kids realize it's something that is going to really help them on the test, and they take it more seriously and they try harder. And
Yeah,
we try to have like incentives for that to make the kids more interested. Do you do something like that with the math?
Well, we use Admentum for our course recovery program. So if they fail the course throughout the year, they can retake it within the Admentum platform.
Hey, that sounds similar to like summer school. We use Admentum, and again, we'll do that same NWA test to see if they make improvement. Because I know like about 87% of the kids in summer school did make improvement, because the summer school is even smaller class size.
Gotcha. Well, I'm pretty much I covered all the things or the data that we actually had in our classroom. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your information with me.
No problem, Mr. Berlinsky.
Okay. All right. Take care.
You too.
All right.